This is a small clip from one of my main videos. If you like it, then please check out the original video. Okay, bye, love you. Up next is Drawful, one of the two games that were made specifically for this party pack, and is easily one of the best available here. Look, they even got this neat little feature where each player gets to draw their own crappy little profile picture. I love stuff like this. The concept of Drawful is that every player receives a prompt and will have to draw it to the best of their ability. You really want to do the best you can to portray the prompt as accurately as possible, because naturally, after everyone's done with their drawing, they're presented one by one, and everyone has to guess what the artist's prompt was. The twist, though, is that rather than everyone continuously submitting guesses until someone's correct, players instead have to choose from a selection of possible answers. One of these answers is the prompt the artist received, but the rest of them are lies made up by the other guessers. It's up to the guessers to choose what they believe the artist's actual prompt was based on their drawing. If you can correctly identify the prompt the artist was given, both you and the artist get some points. But if someone chooses your fake answer thinking it's correct, you also get rewarded points for each player you fool. So essentially, as a guesser, you want to come up with the most reasonable interpretation of the drawing as you can, something that genuinely reads as a prompt the game would give a player. And as the artist, you want to make damn sure your drawing matches your specific prompt so well that it can't possibly be mistaken for something else. After everyone picks an answer, every fake prompt that fooled other players is shown one by one, revealing who wrote them and who picked them. After that, the real prompt is finally shown to everyone, alongside those who answered correctly. Do this for every player's drawing, then repeat the process with a new batch of drawings or two, then game over. I actually really like the concept of this game. It's a great twist on the typical Pictionary or Scribble experience. It can be really satisfying to bullshit an answer that ends up tricking people, and I honestly just really like games that let me draw stuff in general. And I must say, this game's title does not lie. Drawful! Yeah, these drawings are putrid. The drawing tools they give you are incredibly bare bones, as in, there are none. No eraser, no undo button, no alternate colors. So if you mess up, you're fucked. Honestly, I think this is for the best. Just makes the game quicker and funnier, and puts a lot more pressure on the artist not to screw up accurately portraying their prompt. I'd imagine this makes things a bit hard on players drawing with their fingers on their phone screen, but like, who cares, f them. There's not much else to say about the gameplay of Drawful. It's very simple and can be a good time, though I do have some critiques. For starters, the pacing could be better. The same can be said for a lot of these early Jackbox games. It can take a while to go from one drawing to the next, and an even longer while to go from drawing something to drawing the next thing. If you want a more rapid-fire drawing game, I definitely recommend Scribble.io. You don't get the fun lying mechanic, but you do spend more time actually playing the game. The pacing problem is helped a bit in the standalone sequel Drawful 2 though, for what that's worth. A bit of a bigger Drawful issue though is that some of the prompts in this game are just too damn specific, often to the point where it becomes blatantly obvious which of these answer choices wasn't written by someone who saw the drawing. I mean, when you get shown a picture of a blue oval and have to guess which of these answers was the prompt it was based on, it's pretty damn obvious no one looked at that and put rye bread, thus making rye bread clearly the correct answer. But at least a scenario like that could have been avoided if we got creative with our lies and made up some crazy shit about this oval that sounds reasonable. But with the wordier ones, like the other side of a black hole, I don't know man, that's just a really fucking specific prompt. One that's difficult to translate into an accurate drawing, and even more difficult to translate back into a reasonable fake answer. I mean, notice how the real prompt is wildly more specific than all the other lies here. In many cases, this is kind of a dead giveaway, since any lie that doesn't account for every last detail in the drawing is just naturally going to appear as a less accurate description than the real prompt. Again, this problem can be mitigated, but I still think the prompts could have been a bit easier to work with. But hey, at least they're still a billion times better than the ones in Drawful Animate in Pack 8. Yikes, can't wait for that one. I've got a bit more to say about Drawful, but that'll come up when we talk about Fibbage XL in a bit. That game follows a very similar format and does it better in my opinion, for reasons I'll explain when the time comes. All this being said though, I want to reiterate that Drawful is still a fun game, and what I just complained about is in no way indicative of how every play session will go. It just happens enough for it to be noticeable. This is still easily one of, if not the best game in the first party pack, and in the end, a pretty good time. Well, alright, that was one of the two new games made for this pack. Now for the other one. It's time for my absolute favorite, Word Spud. Oh shit, sorry, this tends to happen when I think about Word Spud.